Adjudicators here from Dr. Pulane. And that dude from Grey, we call him Snoop, even though it's not his name. Right on. First speaker of the opposition. Woot woot.
Good morning, class and large. My name is Lenyehelo. Today I'm the first speaker of the opposition team. We accept the definition brought forth by the proposition team, and before I go into it, I'd like to come up with some rebuttals. Firstly, the proposition team came here and said people were living great and in good situations. Majority of the people were oppressed. Please explain to us, why would you think that suppressing people, not giving them rights, and then making sure that they don't have anything, and then they have to fight for things on a daily basis is a great living and is a good situation? Secondly, they came here and they said white people were more educated and had the people's needs at heart. Which people? Because the only people's needs they had at heart were their people. And now it doesn't make sense why you would say it's okay for us to have a certain amount of people's needs at heart and we provide for them, but we live in a country, and as the government is supposed to provide for the entire country, but you choose to provide for your people based on the fact that other people are not educated and you're more educated than them. Isn't that abuse of power? Then they came and said that based on moral expertise, the white people had the right to suppress the black people, or rather the other races. They had the right to suppress the other races, and they had the right to make sure that they stayed at the top of the food chain. What gives you the right to put the title on white people as to be that their moral experts? Going on to my cases. I first speaker will be dealing with max security for max people. My second speaker will be no payment. My second speaker will be dealing with human rights, and my third speaker will be doing about some rights and debates to time last. Moving on to my positive matter. Morals is a name given for categorizing good and bad action. In a civilized society, good morals should be advocated for. I mean, people should be able to live in a house with 4 walls. People shouldn't fight for things on a daily basis. People should have something to eat on a daily basis. People should, have some sort of education given to them. They shouldn't feel oppressed. They shouldn't feel like they don't matter in society. And they shouldn't feel like their human dignity, or they shouldn't feel like their opinions and their voices shouldn't be heard simply because they're of a different color or they're of a different root. Yes. So, good morals obviously are then sort of taken from when someone is humane. So if there's humanity in a situation, we classify you as someone who has good morals. If you're someone who cares for other people, someone who's willing to give a helping hand and so forth, then those fall under good morals. So, as the opposition team, what we're trying to say is this. The majority of the people back then were not happy, or they were not treated well. And therefore, it doesn't make sense that a government allows that only a few people should be treated right on the basis that they're more educated. It doesn't make sense that for a country to succeed as a whole, you only allow a certain amount of people to, the fewer part of people to succeed. It would only make sense for not only for the country to have a good image, but for the country to grow as a whole. Because back then there was a sort of space between the two groups, and there was a level difference. Because you see that the white people were living there, and then the black people were living there. So there was a gap that needed to be closed, and that's where the problem came in. If you take white people, you'd say yes, there was a good economy in South Africa then. You'd say yes, there was a good standard of living. You'd say yes, there was employment and so forth, high employment. If you took the black people, there was the negative of all that. And therefore, putting the two situations together, it brought the high level of employment, the high level of education, and the high level of good standard of living down to a low amount. And when you look at a country and when you rank a country, you don't rank it on a basis of the race that's in the country. You rank it on a basis of the statistics that are brought by all the citizens in a country. And And therefore, when you painted a picture of South Africa and you put it on the map, it looked like a bad place to firstly invest in. And therefore, as the opposition team, we truly feel that there was simply no moral, not even intellectual reason or justification for people to be suppressed based on education, as proposition team came down, based on moral expertise that people didn't study for, but they claimed that these white people had moral expertise. If anything, the white people had expertise on suppressing and oppressing people. They had expertise on being building. Oh my God. So what we're practically trying to say as the opposition team is, as a government, your duty is to make sure that the citizens in the country are all fed to a certain amount, a certain limit. We're not saying let's all be employed. We're not saying let's all live in mansions. We're not saying let's all go to school. Obviously, all countries have flaws, but we're saying don't make the flaws the domination of the country. I mean, if you can make it happen, that both races are balanced, and that in all situations you find a balance in races since this is about race, then do so. It is not morally right and morally justifiable to say that just because I'm educated and just because I'm of a different race, it's fine for me to suppress you. It's fine for me to suppress you. So in wrapping up, what I'm today showing you is that maximum people in society were not satisfied, and therefore it wasn't justifiable, or the morals weren't justifiable for apartheid.